Hello, everybody. Well, I know it's been a very long time since I put an actual crafting video up, and that's because I have been dealing, of course, with family matters, and I decided I needed a change of area where I craft, and so I have been very indecisive of what I want to do with my crafting area. Excuse me. Um, but Valentine's is coming up, and I want to do a Valentine project. So bear with me, and I will show you what I'm going to do. I got to gather 2 more things. I'll be right back. Okay, I went and found what I needed, or thought I did. Now, this is possibly going to have to be used because I do want some control over the pattern I'm going to make, and I am using UV resin. I'll be using the last well, this is the last bottle of a previous order of UV resin from Temu. And I'm not sure if I want to load the UV resin into this for better control or just use a pipette. I'm really not sure. These don't have that great a control. This I would have better control over, but it of course would be very difficult to clean out, especially if the UV light gets to it. I'm usually really careful about that, but this is what I call overkill. It's a 30 ml bottle. I would prefer like a 10 ml bottle. So I really don't want to use it. These here are polished garnet chips. They're very pretty red. Let me see if I can show you a little bit better on this here. I'm not sure if that's getting picked up properly. I haven't used my phone in a very long time, but I haven't gotten my computer moved with the webcam. They're absolutely gorgeous. They are very dark. So I'm going to be doing a few of the things I've planned on doing. And I'll show you what that is in a moment. I'm going to put those back in so I don't lose them. The paint here is by a company called Rich Art. It's a Acrylic premium acrylic paint. It is basically a dollar store paint. It is in scarlet. And what I'm going to be doing is placing a good sum of this UV resin into here. And I'm sorry if the shadowing is there. I just don't have my lighting set up the right way right now. Being in a new room and new area for lighting, that's why, well, one of the things you run into is having to readjust your lighting situation. So I'm going to take a little bit of this paint now. I've shook it before, but I'm going to shake it a little again. Oops, I did lose one of those already over there. Okay. It's very, very thin paint. And you don't want to use a whole lot of it because it is opaque. So I'm just going to take my little stick here and I'm going to just hit it like that. And that still may end up being a little too much for curing. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape just a little bit of that off and go with that. If I need more, I'll use the tip of the brush or something. So let's get this stirred in. I am using the paint because it is a truer red and doesn't tend to go pink. And of course, because you need to be able to cure your resin, you need to make sure that it is thoroughly mixed, not very opaque, so you'll have to layer up. And it looks like I really should have probably kept that daub of paint on there. So let's add just a little bit more here. Go ahead and put that down in there. Scrape this off. And of course, wipe the brush tip. I'm using Kleenexes at this point because, like I said, in the middle of moving rooms, and I am in a more condensed area than I was before, so a lot of things will be stored in the other room until I need them. And that should be the amount I need of the paint. I'm a big stickler about truer colors. Now, if I've got too much in here for cure, the proper curing, I will add a little bit more UV resin to this. But you want to make sure it's as thoroughly mixed as you can get it. You don't want any streaks or clumps or anything like that in it. And wipe the sides of your stick just to make sure that you're not leaving that on there. Okay, that's very thinned out. Now there is a trick that probably everybody has seen by now if you watch Daniel Cooper, that you stick a little itty bitty bit of clear school glue from Elmer's into it, and it will thicken it, but I don't want it that thick because I do want it to be able to pipe. So I'm going to wipe this off here. I'll wipe the stick off. And that is a very staining pigmented paint, as you can see. Now, I'm going to real quick make sure that this is thoroughly clean surface. So I'm going to use a baby wipe. I don't normally like to use baby wipes when I'm doing this kind of thing, but for time purposes, I will do it right now because I want to make sure that all dust and dust motes and fur and things like that are all off of here in the area that I'll be working. As you can tell, these micas are sitting here. They're very pretty mica. They're like a pearl coloring. Okay, looks like I keep putting more and more fur on it or something. I did use some tape on it earlier, but the hazards of having pets is you have fur that shows up at the most inconvenient times. And dry it off a little bit. And yes, Kleenexes tend to leave a little bit of residue, paper residue behind. And I'm sure I'll have imperfections in what I'm going to do because of that, but that's all right. I just don't want large clumps of hair in it. And there we go, got that little piece. Okay, so the plan is I want to make kind of a, well, I don't really like rainbow coloring. I just don't. I love natural rainbows. They're gorgeous. Okay, let's pop that down. At least I brought that tool in. Whoops. Oh, I just do not like it when they do that. I don't know if you can get that color change in there. Well, the pearlization. But I'm hoping you can see some of it. Okay, get that in the garbage after I see if there's enough powder on here to use. Well, there's a little bit. So I'm going to, oops, I keep moving things. I'm going to place this on the mat itself because I am free-forming things. And I'm going to make this kind of a wide swatch. It's got kind of a purple hue to it from my direction here. Okay, get a little bit more on here. I want it kind of thick, but not thick. I don't want a whole lot where the resin won't adhere properly. You can see a lot of bubbles foaming right there. So I'll take a long neck lighter and I will pop those bubbles. I'm going to pause you for a moment here. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go get some water. From up above, it doesn't look like I have much on here at all, but there is quite a bit actually. I'm going to make it just a little bit longer here. Okay, I'm about ready with what I need in an area. I've actually got quite a bit on this extra side, but it's because I'm not too sure of my own capabilities of trying to get precise. I've never really been a precise person. I can't find my switching sponge either, so I will have to, of course, use a napkin or something to change colors. Okay, I have my little long neck lighter. This is a short one, and I like it most of all. It lights quicker. You would just down in here, get those surface bubbles out. And as I said, I'm going to have to try piping it on because I'm not too good at freehand anything. And I'm trying to get no bubbles, but that's easier said than done. Get this sucked up in there. All right. And I will be doing a build-up. I have a bubble sitting on top there that I'm trying to stay away from because I took the pipette out a little too soon and it drew air in. Okay, I think I got all the tension out of it. And as I said, it's Valentine's, so we are going to make an open bezel first. And as this is very fluid, it's going to be very difficult to keep the heart shape unless I go quickly. So I'm going to move this out of the way and go as quick as I can and start curing. I did set it on 1 minute. I'm going to set it on another 1 minute. First I want to test it though, because I don't want it to set. Too late. All right, so as I said, we're going to stack it a little bit. I won't put as much in the middle at this point though. I do want to try to keep a heart shape. So it may get a little bigger on one side than the other. Try to get that point going. Straighten this out. Get those bubbles popped. Okay, looks like we got pop bubbles. Now before the cure, we're going to put some clear in here. I'll just move it around with the stick. Do not touch the bottom where the mica is. You'll disturb it for sure. All right, now it comes to cure again. Get this wiped off. If the light is bothering you, please mention that in the comments. I know it bothers some people, but not everyone. And the blue light itself is harmful if you stare at it when you're close to it, so you got to remember that. I am creating a flap to go all the way around this so that it blocks the light itself. I wish this had a countdown timer. It'd be a lot simpler. I had an amaryllis bloom, and so I wanted to save the flower, but something got knocked against it, and, well, it's got these weird yellowing looking areas. It's because the pollen came off the stamen here. And I did try brushing it off, but the leaves are a little, or the petals are a little velvety, and therefore it makes it a little bit less able to do that. Okay, now I will cure it one more time. I will have to create a loop for this so that it can be hung on a chain. Oops, I only put it on 30 seconds. That should be enough though for this. Okay, let's give it a test. Make sure that it's nice and hard. Okay. I don't want to put too many of these in. I just want to put a couple. Not exactly sure where I want them to be. So, you know, they're all kinds of different sizes here and shapes. But I do want them to kind of match, and there, that one looks like it might. It just wants to spin, doesn't it? Oh, for Pete's sake. I might get that one situated. You know, this is a time when some crafters, like especially myself, would say, okay, everybody, yell out real quick. What do you think? But we all know that can't happen. All right, I think that's good right there. Now we put a little bit more clear in. And I want to do that before I do the other portion. I do want them covered, so I'm going to cover them just a little. I don't want the clear running out. So I'm going to take this little stick and kind of move the clear around just enough. I want to make sure that these little gemstones are really coated. Almost looks like a little face, doesn't it? Okay, let me wipe the stick off. Okay, now to create the area. Or a jump ring to go into. Gotta hurry before it closes. And of course I will probably have to file it on the inside a little bit. But we shall see, because I do intend on slightly doming the back if I can get it settled fast enough. And I may not be doing any more than just this one. Let's put these little gems back. I love these little garnets. They're very deep colored. And one day I might sit down and go through that entire amount and see which ones are shaped differently, etc. But there's a lot in here. Okay, let me cure one more time. And that 30-second thing. Sorry, didn't mean to gulp in front of you. Now, I do suggest, if you're going to be using any kind of resin, to use gloves. This stuff, I have chosen not to wear gloves because I have found I'm tolerating it really well. There's no allergic reaction to it at this time. But allergies can build over time with use. All right, let's make sure that it is cured. Stones feel set. Okay, so now we're going to gently lift that off of there. And all the mica came up with it. Now this is sharp on the sides, so I will sand it down a little bit. It feels maybe slight bit tacky, so I'm going to turn it over and put it on a 30-second. And then we'll put something under it to see what it looks like. I'll go ahead and start removing these right now because I do have a black piece of acrylic sheet here in order to see what it looks like both ways, with black and white behind it. Okay. So with my hand, I'm not sure if you're going to get any of this in there. And yes, there's enough of a hole there, but you'd have to have a really large jump ring for that. So I will have to remove part of that, of course. Okay, so let's clean this off real fast so I'm not spreading mica. Boy, those hairs, they do tend to be everywhere. I have both cats and dogs, and wow, the fur is real. But I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't have ever lived without a single one of them. They've been my rock at points, but at other times, of course, as all animals are, they are frustrating also. Okay, so to see what it looks like with white behind it, I'm just going to place that right there. And let's kind of tilt it different ways. So yeah, not too visual. And I'll just peel this back here. And we will put that up into view. And as I'm doing this at night, there is no visual lighting. Okay. So it does look better with a black backing. Now, I'm not going to say I would ever wear this because it's quite sharp, for one. For two, it does look like there's a face there. It is quite solid. But I think the next time I attempt this, if I do, it will be with a slightly thicker viscosity. So I will probably add that little drop of glue and give that a try. All right. Of course, if you like the video, a thumbs up. And I'd appreciate a comment, please. Let me know what you think about freelancing this, or freeforming, or whatever it's called. Let me know if you want to try it. You'd probably have a better idea of what you want to do than I did going into this. I want to thank all my subscribers, my long-terms. You've been around for almost since the beginning of my channel. And so, well, a lot of them left and a lot of them came back. And then I have newer ones. And then I just got a good jump on new ones. And I want to thank you, new subscribers, for helping my channel like that. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing in my channel. I know some of my videos are super long, but I try to get the process for everybody. And some of my videos I've had to speed up a 3 to 6 hour process immensely. So that, nobody's going to sit and watch an 8-hour video. I'm not. I do ask that if you are going to watch the long ones, please don't skip through them. It does hurt the view duration time, and that, of course, that hurts a channel. We don't get offered to people's feeds like the ones that get viewed all the time, and or all the way through, I should say. Yes, it's a 10-second world these days, I know. I would hope, though, that we small-time crafters can gain your interest more, but That's where the comments come in. We need to have your feedback to let us know the type of video you want, of course, the length of video you want, of course, the ingredients, should I say, in the crafting. We need to know those things that you would like to see or not see. And of course, if you're new to the channel, thank you very much for coming and stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, maybe consider doing so. I do plan on having many more videos very shortly here. Of course, I do have Temu hauls, and I do have Temu influencer hauls now, and I don't know, maybe there's something that interests you in my channel. You don't have to have an interest in everything. I don't have an interest in everything. But I do want to thank all of you for watching. And of course, if you want to, please share it. And thank you again. So everybody, peace out.